Alright guys, welcome to anyone currently watching stream at the moment. Hope everyone's having a good day. We are going to be doing a bit of a different type of stream today. We're going to just be kind of playing a bit of Modern Warfare in the background and having a bit of an open discussion about Black Ops 6, what we think of it so far based on what we've seen. I have dropped a poll into the chat, so please feel free to answer that so I can see what you guys are thinking about it so far. I'm just going to put a message in actually. All right, cool. So yeah, guys, so we're going to be playing a bit of Modern Warfare in the background while we have this discussion for anyone who wants to drop their thoughts and feelings about Black Ops 6. I think, I mean, for me, obviously from what we saw on the reveal on Sunday, we've obviously got a new feature with the movement, which is obviously not being in any previous cards, I don't think anyway. Which is the omnidirectional. Is that what it's called? Omnidirectional movement, which essentially allows you to just sprint, run, sprint in any direction, and dive in any direction as well. I think those are the two things which it will allow you to do. And as I said, I don't think we've seen that in any other COD before, so it's a new thing to the franchise. I think it's good having something like that because it kind of means that in terms of like movement, it makes it a lot more fast paced, and I think it will just make games a lot more active as well. Like you play some games sometimes and they're really slow paced. People move around quite slow, and I mean, there's always going to be those types of players anyway, right? But I think having the ability to move around like that will essentially just promote more movement. Slide in, dive in, whatever you want to do. It'd be interesting to see how it actually feels when you do it because I feel like at the moment, like in my head, if I'm trying to sprint backwards, or if I'm trying to sprint or like dive backwards, I feel like I can do it. Like it's just a sprint, obviously, just to activate your sprint and then move in whatever direction you want to move in. But it does seem a bit because I think we haven't really seen it in COD yet. I think there is some games where it is present. Like you've got what game is it now? Is it? I'm trying to think what game it is. Um, I can't think of the name, but there's a game. There's a few games out there that have that type of movement where you can basically just do whatever you want, movement wise. You can dive any direction, sprint any direction. So I've seen that in another game, but I think in terms of COD, in terms of it playing in Call of Duty and the way Call of Duty plays itself, the graphics, everything like that, the mechanics of everything, it'd be interesting to see how they do it. And I don't think it's like a permanent thing. Like I'm pretty sure it's an option that you can turn off. It's not just like an option that's there and you have to use it. I'm pretty sure in the settings there'll be an option for it. To basically just switch it on or off. So that's quite useful to be fair. If you want it on, you can have it on. If not, if you want to just stick with the original movement, which I think even the original movement, even if you don't activate for the dives, if you're not going for the dives, if you're not going for the sprint in any direction, I still think that you've pretty much got like the movement will be pretty good anyway. I mean, obviously we got the movement in Modern Warfare 3, which is obviously the most recent Call of Duty we're looking at. It's quite good, and I mean it is a Modern Warfare game, so in terms of the mechanics of everything, I feel like they are moving in that sort of direction in general. I don't think it's going to be an exact match. It's not going to mirror completely because it's a Black Ops game. It plays differently, but I believe that it will be very similar. I mean, we've already seen a lot of similar things. So from the reveal on Sunday, we had a lot of similar things happen. In the trailer, where we had, like it showed a very short clip of the menu interface, which was very similar to the Modern Warfare one. I think the only difference really was the colouring. It had like the Black Ops colours, so like the orange and black kind of style, whereas Modern Warfare has always been more like a blue, as we can see here. But yeah, Venom, welcome to the stream. So yeah, it's looking good, but like I said, I think all in all, they are moving into this direction of kind of adapting a lot of the Modern Warfare stuff. Like I said, with the menu and the movement, we didn't really get to see a lot of the movement and actual gameplay, obviously in the reveal, because obviously it was just an initial reveal. But there was some bits where you could see how it was playing, and it did. It wasn't like exactly Modern Warfare, but it didn't play like, for example, the last Black Ops game, which was obviously Cold War, Black Ops 5. But it was somewhere in between, which is good because I was a bit worried initially they might just adapt a whole Modern Warfare playing style and that's it. But yeah, they seem to be going in the right direction, which is good. What am I doing here? What am I doing? I need to change this to a free for all, just so we can go into a custom game real quick. Free for all. 10 minutes. We'll do. Excuse me. We'll do a 100 time limit. 50 minutes time limit. Sorry, 100 points for the limit. But yeah, guys, there's a poll in the chat, so please do answer that. Let me know your feelings. Let me know your thoughts towards the game so far from what we've seen from a reveal. I think we're getting a multiplayer reveal. When is that now? I should really have this marked in the calendar somewhere. I don't know whether it was July or August. I think it was actually August. I don't think it was July. So, yeah, there's that as well. Oh, no, yet. Cool. All right. Lovely. Let's add some bots into this game, shall we? How many can we add? Oh, wow. We can add a lot of bots in here. Nice. So, yeah. But yeah, I think obviously in terms of what else we've seen, so we got the movement, we got the return of the classic prestige system, which is something that we haven't seen since the very early days. I'm quite happy for that as well. It'd be good to have that option to reset, hard reset, get everything done. I have not got a class in custom games, I've just realised. That isn't good. I should probably have a class for custom games, but I don't have a class for custom games. So I think I'm gonna quickly make one. But yeah, it's the classic prestige system. I'm glad that that's coming back because I think we needed something like level-wise at the moment. It feels like CODs recently have very much just been very much like a kind of rank up and there's not really much reward. But I think having there we go. I think having the likes of the classic prestige system will it'll promote people actually having something to go towards a bit more, which is good because I think, like I said, at the moment it kind of feels. Oh, I ain't got the right gear on this class either. It kind of feels a bit, I won't say repetitive, but like. Oh, I can't slide in this flipping class. That's not good. But yeah, it kind of feels a little bit repetitive, I want to say. But yeah, it's... I'm not really sure how to explain it, but it just feels like when you're ranking up, there's just not really like much that you can kind of do. It's just get to a level and that's it. There's not really much reward behind it. But yeah. Hopefully, with the return of Classic Prestige, we will have a bit more of an incentive to rank up. But, yeah, we'll see. I mean, apart from that, what else have we seen? I'm trying to think what else they've actually made us aware of. We've got the movement, we've got the Classic Prestige, and then we also have... There's something else. I really should have made some notes for this. But I can't think off the top of my head. Yes, zombies, that's it. So we've got the return of round-based zombies, which, for me personally, I've never been a massive zombie player myself. But I know there's a lot of people out there that are very excited for this, because a lot of people obviously play zombies quite a lot. I mean, I remember zombies from before. I never used to play it a lot myself, to be honest. It was never really something that I played like a lot, but it was definitely fun having it round based. You know, I mean, when you think about I mean, I haven't played zombies on Modern Warfare, to be fair, and I think, did I play it on Modern Warfare 2? I'm trying to remember if I played it on Modern Warfare 2, but I think I played it on Modern Warfare 2, but I haven't tried it on Modern Warfare 3. And then in terms of like Cold War zombies, I didn't actually mind Black Ops Cold War zombies. But one of the things that I like about what we're doing with zombies in Black Ops 6 is obviously, have it welcome to the stream, is obviously the fact that it's obviously round based. That's obviously the main thing. But I think also you've got so they're bringing in 2 maps at launch. Now, a lot of people were quite, they kind of felt a certain way about only having 2 maps at launch. Now, when you think of it off the top, really, it kind of is like, oh yeah, 2 maps, like, is that it? You know, at the end of the day, you got to think, right, they've spent 4 years making this game, and is that all we're getting off launch? 2 maps. Which, when you put it that way, it does, you know, what the hell are they doing? Just comparing it to the last Black Ops game, just for the sake of it being Black Ops, right? The last Black Ops, Cold War, and the zombies in that, the map, when you think about the core map, it was quite, I mean, once you play zombies like a couple of times, it kind of just did get really repetitive. Like, the map itself was quite small. Obviously, it had the underground bit, it had the extended bits, but all in all, it did feel quite just, I won't say repetitive, because zombies is repetitive, right? That's the whole point. But it felt more, what word am I looking for? I'm not really sure what word I'm looking for, but the map didn't really feel that big, and there wasn't really that much to explore. But with these 2 round-based ones, I mean, obviously they haven't officially released a map yet. They showed a preview of one of them, I think, and it looked quite, I mean, it looked huge, to be fair. It looked massive from what we saw. But yeah. And it looked like there was a lot of kind of details and place to explore as well, as opposed to just, you know, like, you kind of go around the corner, you know what's there, you go around another corner, you know what's there. It's like, you know, there's not really that much to explore. But yeah, in Black Ops 6, that one map that it did show a preview of was looking really good. And obviously the other one, whichever one there is as well, was 2 maps on launch. So yeah, I think zombies is going to do quite good, and I think all in all, I think they're heading in the right direction. It's been a while since we've really had like a decent Call of Duty, I think. You know, I mean, if you think about it, Black Ops, in my opinion, and this is an opinion, right? I know people differ, but in my opinion, COD went on a downfall after Black Ops 4. Now, that's not me saying that every single COD before that was, like, great, it was the best. You know, I'm not saying Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, they're all perfect games. You know, no faults, nothing wrong with them. But the thing is, that the difference is, once Black Ops Cold War came, that essentially introduced a whole new system and a whole new set of mechanics, because prior to that, the mechanics and everything was relatively similar on Black Ops 4, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 2. It was all very similar. There wasn't like mass amounts of difference. But once Cold War came, it really introduced that new wave of everything, really. I mean, you know, one key thing I think was probably sniping. You know, Black Ops 4, Black Ops 3, sniping on all of those games, it made sense. It was really quick. I'll say it made sense. We're not going to go into reality terms here, because that could open a can of worms. But it felt balanced. And I feel like Black Ops 4, you know, those kind of cards, when you're sniping, I mean, it's so quick. It is ridiculously quick. But that's what we obviously had back then. That's what we're all used to, right? That's what we were dealing with. But once Cold War came now, it then switched to a whole different thing where, I mean, when Cold War first released, right, the sniping community, including myself, went absolutely insane because what they'd done to sniping was they completely changed it round to the point where it was just like, I mean, I don't even know, like, it was so much slower. And I mean, we had, what gun was the slowest now for ADS? I think it was the M82 in Cold War, but was the slowest ADS. And I remember doing a video when it first came out, and it was like just expressing how bad it is, like the comparison. I mean, I feel like now, right, Cold War's been out for how long? Black Ops Cold War released in 2020? Is that right? Or was it 2021? I don't think it was earlier than that. It's either 2020 or 2021. And I think, you know, because we've had that so long, you know, we kind of got used to it. We kind of got used to this new playing style of whatever it was. And people did complain, but at the end of the day, that was the mechanics of the game, right? That's how they laid it out. So they weren't going to change it, and I think people knew that. So I think we kind of just got used to it. Now, Black Ops 6, obviously, you know, we haven't seen all that much. I mean, we saw a lot of campaign gameplay, but I think what we need to remember is campaign gameplay is very, 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 very different to multiplayer. You know, what you can do, the mechanics, everything. It's overall, it's of course the same, but in terms of what you can actually do, it can be very different. It can be very different. I mean, just when I was playing a campaign on this, not too long ago, and I realized that, you know, when you slide on here in multiplayer, I mean, obviously you can have all the equipment and stuff that helps it, but even without that equipment, if you just do like a normal slide, you tend to go quite far. I mean, I've got the slide velocity thing on at the moment, and that's obviously helping quite a lot. But even without that, the sliding is still quite good. But then if you go on campaign now and try and slide, I mean, for a start, in the campaign, I don't think you can go in the scope when you're sliding. I might be wrong, that might have just been 1 or 2 missions, but and the sliding in general is very slow because, of course, campaign is more realistic, right? Multiplayer is obviously about customizing stuff, suiting your playing style. But yeah, I think from what we saw on the campaign on Black Ops 6, even then the movement, everything looked good. We've got obviously the omnidirectional stuff, which, as I said, will hopefully bring a much faster playing style to games. Yeah, hopefully bring a faster playing style, which, like I said, is what we need. You know, we do need that. I think the problem is, and I think I've realised it more and more playing this game. I mean, I know this is a Modern Warfare game, right? But even if I go back and play like Black Ops Cold War, or anything like that, the games feel very, 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 very slow sometimes. You know, it feels like people are moving at like 2 miles an hour, which, I mean, everyone's got their playing style, right? That's what we have to remember. There's a playing style for everyone. But for me, I much prefer a faster playing style. Like, I feel like, and this is the case for a lot of people, I think, but when you have like a very slow match, right? When you have like a very slow match where people are just kind of in one place, they're camping, whatever they might be doing, I feel like it causes that much of a slowdown in the game that you kind of end up, once you run into someone, it kind of throws you off because you're not necessarily expecting it. You know, you've been spending, say, like, what, 5-10 minutes, depending on what you're playing. If you're playing Warzone or, you know, whatever it might be. But in a regular game, you've been spending a couple of minutes running around trying to find someone. You don't find anyone. And then you finally run into someone. And it's almost like you're not ready for it. Because you've just been, like, that long, you've just been kind of chilling. And it really does throw you off. Like, for me, I mean, I hate it. Like, when there's a slow game, it is my worst nightmare. I hate it so much. Like, there's nothing that frustrates me more than like a slow match. You know, just literally having a match where you just can't find anyone, or, you know, you run around for ages and then, you know, it takes you ages to find someone and then you find out they're actually just sitting there camping or whatever. But, yeah, I think, so from a movement perspective, that's what we need, right? We need something. We need something to enhance the movement. That's obviously not going to change it for everyone. You know, as I said, everyone has their own playing styles, right? Everyone has their own playing styles. Everyone's going to want to do what they want to do, and of course, just because there's a movement enhancement, that doesn't mean that we're going to see. It doesn't mean that we're going to see, you know, just fast lobbies all around. You know, everyone changes. Of course, it doesn't mean that. But what it does mean is that, like I said, for people who have a faster playing style, it means that they can you know, they can work with that a lot more, right? I feel like the problem is on cards at the moment, because the movement, especially on more recent cards, it's not all there. You know, Modern Warfare 3, right? We've got movement enhancements, depending on what gear you choose, which is obviously just perks, right? So, you know, if you choose a vest, which increases movement, if you choose the boots, if you choose the gloves, whatever it might be, you know, there's always something there to increase your movement, which is great. But having a default fast movement and not having to have any perks, I mean, of course, there's still going to be perks, right? There's still going to be perks, faster movement, whatnot. You know, it's going to happen, guaranteed, of course. But having something default in the game where, you know, you just know you're playing a fast-paced game is always good. And I think another thing as well is you've obviously got, well, so on release there's going to be, is it two? Yeah, there's going to be 2v2 maps as well, or 2v2 playing style, should I say. I think there's going to be, I think they said 6. Is it 6? I might be wrong. I might be wrong there, but I think they said 6. I think they said 6 in total, which is good, if it is that. But whatever it is, there's quite a few anyway to be playing, right? So that's good. So I think, yeah, the 2v2 maps, 2v2 is definitely something I've always wanted. I mean, it's what a lot of people want, because with 2v2, you can obviously, you know, a lot of people just have one person that they play with quite often, and, you know, sometimes it's more than one person or 4 people, whatever it might be. But I think because having that secondary person to play with is quite popular, it kind of promotes that. You know, you want to run 2v2, then you run a 2v2 kind of thing. You know, you've got that option, as well as the standard 6v6 stuff. So it's good. It's good. I'm looking forward to the 2v2 aspect, 100%. For me, that's definitely. Oh, I missed him. And I missed him. That's definitely something that I'll be using, the 2v2 game modes. But I think the maps are smaller, obviously. They obviously have to be smaller, right? But yeah, it'll be good to have that option in there. It's all about the variation, right? When you've got multiple things that you can play, but it's always better. I mean, you know, in this game at the moment, for example, there's obviously a playlist rotation. You know, if you want to play like 10v10, for example, then you can do that. I mean, personally, I'm not a fan of the higher player game modes. I'm more of just a standard 6v6 kind of person, if anything. But I don't mind, you know, like this map right here, right? This is a map that you can play 6v6 on. And this is obviously quite a small map, which is good, because the smaller the map, right? The smaller the map, the faster the playing style. You know, like I said, you'll always get, of course, you'll always get, regardless as to how big the map is, how small the map is, how many people are, you'll always get people who are just kind of sitting around. That's just people's playing styles, right? That's not going to change. You know, there'll always be those kinds of people. But I think, you know, having that ability, it allows you to counter it a lot more. Of course, you've still got people that are just going to sit there, hard scope with a sniper, or sit in one place, sit in a corner, whatever it might be. Like, come on, it doesn't matter what they do. They're not going to eliminate that problem completely. And as much as this probably goes against everything that I think, to say this is, it's not really a problem. You know, at the end of the day, right? Like I said, people have their own playing styles, and that's always going to be a thing. And that's been a thing since the early days of Call of Duty. But what's made it even what's kind of changed that is, of course, you know, when you have playing styles, different things that you can do, like guns, skill level and stuff. When you have, you know, better skill level players in your lobby, it's unlikely that you're just going to be able to sit there and camp and get loads of kills. So it's very, very dependent on that as well, like the skill level of players in your lobby. There's that as well. Should have snipers only must hit from launch. Just only avoid so many other complaints. Yeah, I think having a snipers only from launch, I don't think we've seen that in a COD. in, I mean, I'm not even sure when the last time, would that have been Black Ops 4 maybe? I'm not too sure. Of course, that would be ideal, right? But I think because they just want to, they want to obviously push out variation, right? They want people to be doing different things. They want people to be trying out different game modes, and the only way that they can do that is to kind of force you to play it, but in a very, in a very low key way, because they're not just gonna be like, oh yeah, no, like take this out completely. You're not allowed to use a sniper. You're gonna have to play this game mode. So having a snipers only at launch, yes, that would be brilliant. Realistically, I mean, I'd love that, and I know the sniper community would love that because sniping in red gun lobbies is a challenge. We've got to think that there's a lot of, I mean, some of these red guns, right? It's not entirely balanced. Of course, there's always going to be an imbalance. Whether it's like there's a shotgun that just one shot from distance or whatever it might be. There's always going to be something. But yeah, it's kind of like, I can't do another class here. Yeah, but there's always going to be that aspect of it. However, regarding the maps, they've gone back to a 3-lane system. So about Cordor. Yeah, I mean, with the maps, we'll have to see. I mean, obviously, I don't think we've really seen anything from a map perspective yet, because of course it's. Oh, bloody hell. Of course, as I said, the reveal on Sunday wasn't a full game reveal, right? It was a campaign reveal. If anything, it gave a little bit into multiplayer, but it wasn't really anything major that would actually give us much info. But yeah, it was something. That was a nice little colour. It was something. And we'll have to see, because, I mean, there was a preview of one map, which I was trying to kind of, I was trying to kind of figure out what it might look like and what it might be like, but based on what we saw, yeah, I think having that would be ideal. But yeah, I think one thing we have to make sure, right, is that we take everything with a pinch of salt, and I think that's been the case probably since after Cold War, right? So, we've had to take everything with a pinch of salt, realistically. They say they're going to do all this stuff. Are they going to do it is the question. What are they actually going to add? Was a lot of that stuff in the reveal just, to get our attention? Of course, it could have been. It's possible, but we'll have to see. Ooh, nice hit marker. We'll have to see, but yeah, this is the thing that I think annoys me the most is more recently we've seen, as I said, we've seen a lot of promises coming out of Call of Duty and what they're going to be doing, what the game's going to look like, what things are going to be in, and for the longest time we're all there like, oh yeah, this is great, like something brilliant, and what they present to the people always sounds really good. I think that's one thing that they're quite good at is making people think, actually, look, this is going to be a really good game, right? They have to do that, right? If they didn't do that, then they wouldn't sell anything. They have to put it to the people that it's going to be a good game, and it's going to have all these features. And if that includes saying some things about features that might or might not be there, that's the problem. We have to take that with a pinch of salt. And I think, there's a lot of things that they might be talking about, which in fact will be in the game, but are not going to be in a launch, But at the end of the day, they're just talking about things that are going to be in the game. They haven't said when these things are going to be in the game. They've also stated a couple of things are going to come out at launch, but that's by no means saying that everything they mentioned in that reveal is going to be launched straight away. There's stuff like the movement, which I think, yeah, that's just an option. It's not exactly like a feature. It is a feature, but it's more of a mechanic, if anything. It's not like a feature where it's like, oh yeah, you can unlock this after doing this, and that. It's more something that this is in the game by default. If you want to turn it on, you can turn it on, right? But yeah, I think when we talk about things like movement, when we talk about things like the maps, it's just one of those, isn't it? You've just got to see, you've got to wait and see once it comes out. I mean, the multiplayer reveal, that will obviously give us more insight, if anything. I mean, the problem is, again, what we have to remember is even after the multiplayer reveal, there's obviously no guarantee that what we see there is going to be the final product. I remember watching Modern Warfare 2. Yeah, I remember watching the Modern Warfare 2 reveal, and there was a few things in there which never actually happened in the game. Like the way it was playing, the way it was, it wasn't the game, right? And like I said, they have to do this. They have to do this, which is fine, right? But yeah, it's very much a case of, you know, you only truly know what's going to go on once the game comes out. Which, yeah, there's nothing you can do about that. That's just how it is. But yeah, Classic Prestige. Classic Prestige. What else have we got? Is he prone? Oh gosh, bot's going prone. That's another thing they're going to be doing. So they're releasing the thing where you can, in terms of like getting hit with stuff. So depending on where you get shot, like at the moment, right? If I just die, like if someone just kills me head on, the way my character in game will react isn't necessarily going to be. That was a bad example because I got flashed. Let me just get killed again. Hang on. Let me find an enemy. Where you get killed from doesn't necessarily always reflect what happens. So there's some examples, like if you get killed, right, with a shotgun, close range in this game, you'll often find that your body will just go flying. Like, it will just go flying. Now, that is not the case in real life, right? If you get shot with a shotgun close range, you know, unless they've got some kind of explosive rounds or something, I don't even know. Like, we're going into some next stuff now. But unless, you know, unless there's anything like explosive rounds or anything like that, if you get shot with a shotgun point blank, your body isn't going to go flying up into the air, you know, and start like floating and levitating and shit. And that's what happens in this game. And it's so weird when it happens. I'm like, bro, what is going on here? Why have I just been shot with a shotgun and my body is floating in the air? Like, what's that about? So, and they know that, right? They know that that's not right. They know there's a lot of hit mechanics which just don't make any sense whatsoever. So in Black Ops 6, they shall be doing this thing where, depending on where you get hit, so if you get shot with a gun, that will depend on how your body reacts to that particular death. So if you get shot in the head, for example, you know, your body will fall and it will react based on what that would be. It's a lot more realistic, and I think it's kind of good. I mean, as I said, we've got to think, right? This is a 4-year game, and I think because of that, not only have they focused on making sure that this game is obviously going to be something that redeems the COD franchise as a whole, but it's also something where they can start introducing these new features that we haven't seen before. You know, the omnidirectional movement, for example, being one of them. You know, they're spending, it seems like they almost said, okay, we've got 4 years, we're going to spend 3 years doing this, you know, perfecting the game, making it what it should be, and then, oh my gosh, that's a lot here, Marcus. We're going to spend 3 years perfecting the game, making sure it is what it is, and then we're going to spend a year basically saying, okay, what features can we put in which makes this a unique card, right? Because that's the thing, that's what they need to do. For the sake of variation and customization and all stuff like that, all the good stuff, they need to be bringing out features which separate one card from another, right? If we just got another game where it's just a simple FPS, you know, that's it, same kind of gun, same kind of streaks, all that kind of stuff, then it doesn't make it very exciting, right? You know, people still buy it, of course, it's Call of Duty, right? People are always going to buy it. Doesn't matter how hard the fall off is. But having that variation and having that thing where it's constantly switching up, and having like new features that we've never seen before, that's more than anything, I think, what gets people engaged. You know, if they know that it's going to be a good game because, you know, they've spent 3 years on it, perfecting it, making it what it should be, and then also what we've done is we've spent, you know, a quarter of that time adding new features and that you've never seen before, then it does fill you with hopes. And I think for me, them kind of making it so that it's like, you know, having all those new features, that's what gets me excited more than anything. Because if they'd have come out and said, okay, we've spent, you know, 2 years on this game, we've got all these new features, da 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 da, it wouldn't be as good because they have to spend that time on it. They have to spend that time. They have to split that into two things. Like I said, they have to split it into one, making sure the game is actually playable as any COD should be, and making sure that it offers some variation in terms of movement and stuff. Not referring to the omnidirectional movement, but more but it's not the same as what it always is. They have to have that aspect to it, and then they have that aspect of completely introducing brand new things to the game, like the omnidirectional movement. But obviously they've done it quite well, right? They've done it quite well. You got to think they've brought back the classic prestige system because scrap what I said earlier. This is more about three parts, right? This is about part one, making the game at its base level, right? So the game at its base level is whatever it is, right? So that's base level. Part two is introducing new things to the game. So new things, omnidirectional movement, the hit marker stuff where depending on where you get hit will be based on how your character reacts to a particular death. And then we've got part three, which is them looking at a way to reintroduce old features into the game. So not only have we got that thing where it's like, oh yeah, we're putting all this new stuff in, we got the movement, we got the hit mark stuff, we got all this. And not only is it about that, but it's about saying to the community, look, this is how we're making this game original. We're going to bring back some old features. And I think in terms of additional things off the base game, off of the basic stuff, field upgrades, kill streaks, all that. Because let's be honest, right? If they bring out a new card and just change a couple of the kill streaks or add some new field upgrades, that's not going to get people excited, is it really? They need to do a lot more than that. They know they need to do more than that to keep the community engaged. It needs to be more than kill streaks. It needs to be more than field upgrades. It needs to be more than this, and this. So they know that, and they know they can't just do these minor changes. So yeah, they bring in this new stuff. They introduce old stuff because they want the community to feel that original. What am I trying to say? They want the community to get that original feeling off the game. That's what I'm trying to say. Where they can basically be like, oh yeah, we've got you this new game. At base, it's really good. We've got all these new features. Plus, what we've also done is we've brought back, round-based zombies. We've brought back classic prestige. Round-based zombies is one thing that really separates Black Ops as its own little franchise, obviously within the Call of Duty franchise, of course. It very much separates Black Ops and puts it in that different arena. You got zombies. As I said, zombies on Modern Warfare, zombies on Modern Warfare, right? It's there. People play it. It's not bad. It's not great. It's just one of those things. One of those extra game modes. But Black Ops, zombies on Black Ops now is where it all started, This is where it all started. Now, obviously, people who are old enough and who obviously played those older CODs, remember original zombies. They remember it was like round-based, all that kind of stuff. And may know, from what these guys are saying, that this is the kind of thing that people are excited for. There's always going to be different things. Some people are excited for round-based zombies. Some people are excited for the movement. Some people are just excited all in all. For me personally, I think everything that they've shown us so far does point in that direction, that they're actually starting to redeem themselves a bit, which they need to do, right? Like I said, we know that they need to redeem themselves because for the last however many cards, they've really screwed up. These cards aren't terrible. They're not completely unplayable, right? Otherwise, I won't be sitting here playing this, despite the fact that it's a custom game, right? But, you've got Call of Duty like Vanguard. What was the other one? I can't remember what the other one was called. But you've got these Call of Duties which came out, which are they're almost just placeholders to say that they've said, look, we've got a new Call of Duty out, and that's it, right? Because they didn't want to say like, oh yeah, we're not going to bring a new Call of Duty out at all. So we're going to bring something out as a placeholder. Vanguard for me was one of the most unplayable games I've ever... No, sorry, let me rephrase. It was one of the most unplayable Call of Duty games that I think I've ever touched. And I think for a simple reason that Vanguard didn't have that much time spent on it. It was like, yeah, it was a half job, let's be honest. And it was a very quick job at that as well, because they had to get something out to the community. They had to say, look, we've got a new COD out. They couldn't just keep it idle for that long. So, again, that brings us on to the benefit of Black Ops 6, where the game's been in production for 4 years. And I don't think there's been a COD out recently that's been out. That's been in development for 4 years. You know, that's another thing we're seeing, right? Which, like I said, is good. That's what we need. That's definitely what we need. We need something where we know they've actually spent time on it, as opposed to just giving us a game. Oh yeah, here you go. This is the game that you've got. You know, we spent a year on it. We spent 2 years on it, and this is what you've got. Because if that was the case, I don't think I'd have as much confidence. But yeah, it's one of those, really. It's one of those. But yeah, we've got that hit-based reaction. I don't really know what that's called. I don't think there's like a technical term for that. It's just kind of a mechanic, right, that's built into the game, but I don't know if there even is a technical term for it. But if there is, then someone let me know if you know what it is. But yeah, all in all, I'm definitely excited for what we're going to see. You know, you've got that original feeling, you've got that bringing back, you know, the old stuff, the Prestige, zombies, whatever. And I think Black Ops in general, I mean, Cold War was a Black Ops. Technically, Cold War was Black Ops 5, which a lot of people don't actually know. When I'm scrolling through TikTok recently, and I'm seeing all these videos about Black Ops 6, it's like, oh yeah, Black Ops 6 releasing, Black Ops 6 releasing. I'm seeing in the comments people saying, oh, but what about Black Ops 5? And I think that's just for a simple fact of a name. I don't think it's anything more than that, really. It's like, oh yeah, they called it Black Ops Cold War. They didn't refer to it in any way, shape, or form as Black Ops 5. And I think, to be perfectly honest, I don't think they really could. I mean, let's be honest, right? Cold War isn't a very, very bad game. Cold War is playable. It's not completely unplayable, but it's definitely not one of the better cards, that's for sure. But I think because of the way that game plays, I mean, that was a complete transition from Black Ops 4 to Cold War. It was such a, drastic change in everything. I don't think they could safely say, oh yeah, look guys, this is a Black Ops 5 game. It's called Black Ops, obviously. But I don't think they could be like, oh yeah, guys, Black Ops 5, you know, we're going to call it Cold War instead. So yeah, a lot of people, there's obviously that level of confusion for some people, but yeah, a lot of people don't realise that Cold War is actually Black Ops 5. Officially. But unofficially, it's not. Let's be honest, right? Let's be honest. But yeah, so Black Ops 6, I mean, from what we've seen of the campaign looks pretty good. Obviously, we don't have huge amounts of info coming out of it just yet. You know, we've seen what we've seen in the reveal, which is just minimal stuff. You know, it shows little clips here and there, but we don't get a complete insight into what we're seeing. A little bit on multiplayer, but again, nothing too drastic. It's going to give us that much info. But yeah, I think for me, the thing I'm most looking forward to, I think all in I'm looking for, there's not like one thing I'm thinking that I've seen, I'm like, oh yeah, like I don't want that to be in the game. Like, you know, it's not really been anything. But if you ask me what I'm looking forward to the most, I would probably say it has to be the movement. Because like I said, for me, movement is a big thing. And I feel like movement very much determines life or death when you're in a game. You know, like, if you're one-on-one against someone, of course you're 6v6, obviously there's other 5 people, but if you're one-on-one on someone, there's 2 things which are going to count, right? There's 2 things which are going to count when you got 2 people literally really close. I ain't talking like really far away, I'm talking like, you know, really close together. 2 things count in that particular situation, and those 2 things are movement and aim, right? But if you can get your movement off, then that almost promotes the aim aspect as well, because it's all about moving into that position to take that shot. And I think, like I said, having better movement is definitely something which is gonna determine whether, you know, you're gonna win that gunfight or not. So yeah, for me, movement's a big thing. When I play COD now, I tend to have, I mean, on this game, for example, with the gear, I tend to put on classes where it's more, not classes, perks, where you've got more movement. You know, like this class I'm running right now, I think it's got Infantry Vest, which speeds up movement. It's also got, what else have we got? I think we've got the Slide Velocity, and of course you can aim down the sides while you're sliding as well. That for me was such a thing. I mean, you know, realistically, did they have to do that? They could have made that a default thing. Let's be honest. Like we didn't need to have all that as a separate thing. But yeah, that is what it is, right? It is what it is. But yeah, movement's a big thing for me, and I know it is for a lot of people as well. And like I said, it more often than not does determine whether you're going to win that gunfight against someone. So yeah, for me, if I had to say anything, it would be with movement, 100%. Movement is what I'm most looking forward to. The 2v2 maps as well are going to be great. Having that game mode where you can just run with one other person against other people. The only thing I think with that is if they put, I mean, if we think about the last Black Ops again, I'm going to refer back to Cold War. When in that game, when you have what's the game mode called now? Is it called Gunfight? I'm trying to remember the name of the game mode. But essentially on Black Ops Cold War, there's a 3v3 game mode. There's a 3v3 game mode, and I think it's snipers only, if I remember right. I might be wrong. To be honest, it's been a while. But yeah, there's a 3v3 game mode, and what I find in that, even though the maps are really small, because it's one of those non-respawn game modes, people play so defensive. Like, you literally have to like go find someone to kill them, or you literally go around the corner and you'll see that they're just like hard scoping, waiting for you to come around the corner or something like that. But the good thing is with obviously the 2v2 on Black Ops 6 now, is we've obviously got it's not just going to be like, well, I don't think they've actually officially confirmed, but they put it in the same sector as 6v6. So I'm going to assume that it's going to be a respawn kind of thing. I don't think it's going to be a non-respawn, but it might well be. Like I said, they haven't confirmed either way yet. But yeah, having like a respawn 2v2 game mode, that's what I like the sound of. And you know, of course, the maps would have to be smaller, right? Because what you don't want is you don't want to play 2v2 on a big map. You know, that's the last thing you want, because you know exactly how it's going to go. It's going to be a very slow match, which, you know, no one wants to just be walking around for ages looking for people, right? You want to be active. The more active you are in a game, the more you're running around, the more you're sliding, the more you're facing enemies, then the more active you are, the better your aim's going to be. That's just my opinion, right? I think if you play a game where you're spending like ages just moving around like I am right now, for example, that was a dirty no score. But yeah, if you spend ages just walking around like this and you're not finding anyone for ages, and then all of a sudden you run into someone, it's like, you know, for me anyway, it's just a personal preference, but I imagine there's got to be some people that are like that. It throws you off a lot when there's actually someone there, you know, because you've spent that long just walking around trying to look for someone that, you know, by the time you actually do find someone, it's like, oh wow, okay, there's someone there. I'm not ready for this because I've completely thrown off by the fact that I've just been sitting here for the past, you know, 5 minutes doing nothing. So a more active game mode, a more active playing style, all that is definitely better. So hopefully those 2v2, the 2v2 game mode is on smaller maps. I think from what I remember seeing, did we see 16 maps at launch, I believe? 16 maps, that's not 2v2, that's just overall. So 16 maps in total, if that's right, which I think is really good. 16 is a good number. I think there's a good like 20, 30 maps on here. Cold War, I can't remember off by heart, but I don't think there's actually that many on Cold War. But of course, with Cold War, you've got the different, you know, you've got like the larger maps where you play 12v12 and whatnot. But yeah, I'm not quite sure whether that's just going to be 16, 6v6 and that's it. I imagine a portion of that will be the smaller maps, but then there'll be the aspects of, you know, small map mosh pit or having like a face-off, that kind of thing. So yeah, definitely good. And, you know, there's a lot of features, as I said, that they've released that I'm looking forward to very much. A lot of the older things they're bringing back and a lot of the new things too. But yeah, looking at the poll results, we've got 5 votes. We've got 60% of people, so that's 3 people saying that they've already pre-ordered it, great. And then we've got 2 people saying that the game looks average, cool. I think, like I said, for me, as much as I'm looking forward to the game, there is part of me which is like, okay, look, we got to remember that we've had a lot of promises coming out of Call of Duty from, you know, the past like 3 CODs or so. So I think the mindset a lot of people are in is a very cautious mindset. You know, you don't want to just watch a reveal and listen to them say a bunch of stuff and be like, oh yeah, that's definitely going to be in the game, because, you know, let's be honest, we don't want to get ourselves excited for something that's not going to happen. So I get that element of it if that is the case for some people. 100%. Like I said, a part of me does feel that way as much as I'm excited for the game. A part of me definitely feels like that as well. So yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those. But I think to say that the game looks average isn't really, you know, it's not an incorrect. There's no right or wrong answer to this, right? It's all about personal preference. You know, some people are not really a fan of the Black Ops franchise in general. People prefer Modern Warfare, which is fine. You know, people have their own preferences. There's nothing wrong with that. That's all good. We've all got our own opinions. But like I said, I think all in all with Call of Duty, because like I said, we've seen so much. Jesus Christ, we've seen so many false promises. We've seen so many things that were supposed to be that never were. You know, it's one of those really that we have to just take everything they're saying with a pinch of salt. The omnidirectional movement, even that, right? If we think about it, even that, it looks great, right? Don't get me wrong. Like I said, for me, that's one of the things I'm looking most forward to. But we have to, you know, we haven't experienced it. Yes, it looks great, but we haven't experienced it. We haven't played it. We don't know what it's actually going to feel like in the game. We don't know how it's going to play. So we've got to think to ourselves, actually, there's a possibility here, but this actually isn't going to play how we think it's going to play. It's not going to be as good as we might want it to be. And because of that, you know, we really need to just take a step back and think, hang on, you know, the features that these guys are adding, are they actually going to be good? One thing that counters those feelings for me, for you guys who are obviously, you know, saying that the game looks average at the moment, or you're not too interested in it. If there's one thing that you should probably remember, I think, is that this is a 4-year development game. You know, we're not talking about something that, you know, they've woke up one morning and said, look, we're going to make this. We're going to spend a few nights on it. Here you go. Here's a new card. Play this. You know, we've obviously got that element of the 4-year side, which I think is good. You know, it shows that we obviously put a lot more effort into it than they have for the likes of, you know, the recent Call of Duty that we've seen. So that's one good thing, and that's one good thing to try and reassure you guys. I'm not trying to completely flip your vote. Like I said, you know, we've all got our opinions, and that's cool, right? I'm cool with that. You know, for me, there's a part of me which feels the exact same way. But I think, like I said, you kind of have to. That flash just felt like it affected me in real life. My ears started ringing. But yeah, I get you guys 100%, right? I get it. It's not a bad thing. It's not the wrong thing. And it's quite valid to have that element of uncertainty with what these guys are saying. Because you know what they say, right? Too good to be true. Too good to be true. And I think from what we've seen in the last few years, we have to really like think about that and think, okay, hang on a minute. How can they go from this one Call of Duty that basically is completely unplayable to saying, okay, we've got this game, we've got this movement, it's gonna really enhance it for you guys that like to run around. You know, we've got the classic Prestige returning, what you guys love, we've got round-based zombies, we've got all this stuff coming back. And when you kind of pile that into one thing, it's like, hang on a minute. Why haven't I seen something out of this at the moment that I don't like, right? You got to think that to yourself. You got to think, okay, hang on, what is going on here? Like, it's something. What are they trying to bribe us? You know what I mean? Like, here you go, guys. Here's all these features, but actually, I'm relieved you're not getting any of them. It was just a marketing thing. I don't think they go that far. I mean, hopefully, hopefully they won't go that far. But yeah, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. And I think, what is it as well? My mind's gone blank. I was just thinking of something. What was I just going to say? There was something else supposed to talk about, but I've completely forgot what it was now. Mind has just gone dead. Trying to think what it was. It'll come to me at some point. It will come to me at some point. But yeah, I think... No, I feel like it just came to me and then it left me again. No, I'll come back to that, because whatever it was, it will come back to me. But yeah, movement zombies, prestige, hit detection, all that kind of stuff. Ah, yes, it's just come back to me now, actually. So what they also said is, in terms of hit detection, we're going to see it. We're going to see, excuse me, we're going to see it a lot more enhanced. Now, when game companies talk about having, you've got like, you've got the human body, right? Put it on like a picture, piece of paper. You got the human body. You split it into all these sections. You got a head. You got a chest. You got a stomach. You've got the left leg, left arm, right arm, whatever, all that kind of stuff, right? When you think about Call of Duty, what they said in that reveal is that they're going to be splitting it into these sections based on hit detection. Now, that has been the case in previous Call of Duties, but they're going to be enhancing it a lot more in Black Ops 6, so the hit detection is a lot better. Excuse me. The only problem I think I have with that, right? The only problem I have with them saying about hit detection is we have to remember that we're playing a game, we're playing an online game against other people with potentially really bad connections, all this. So we really have to consider that aspect of him, and it has to almost ask you, okay, realistically, it doesn't matter how good they develop it, how can you possibly differentiate someone hitting, I don't know, upper chest or lower chest to, for example, their right arm, like right here, compared to like where the chest is? The slightest bit, we're talking about like a couple of inches, right? There's always going to be the aspect of the fact that the connection is trash. You didn't hit that person's left arm, you hit their bloody head, or you didn't hit that person's right leg, you hit their shoulder, or whatever it might be, right? I'm playing Twister out here, yeah. But this is the thing. For me, it seems impossible for them to do that. It's not impossible. Like I said, we've seen it on previous cards, but it's in this game. It's in every game. You get even if it's at the most basic level where you've got headshots and body shots, right? There has to be a way of differentiating that, and the way of differentiating that is if there's a hitbox, right? There's a hitbox for each section. There's a hitbox for the character overall. Then there's individual hitboxes. There's going to be a hitbox for the head, which is as big as it is. There's going to be a hitbox for the body, hitbox for the legs, hitbox for the arms, whatever it might be. And all these hitboxes determine how much damage, determine how much damage the bullets are actually doing to that particular player. But in Black Ops 6, how they've referred to breaking it down even more and splitting it into such small sections. I mean, you've got to think, right? We've also got the aspect of how small some of the operators are. Now, this is just Modern Warfare 3 I'm talking about here. Obviously, operators in Black Ops 6, we don't fully know the details. We know a couple from like the Vault Edition, like you got the Frank Woods one, you got Adler, who's probably going to be an operator, whatever. You've got all these basic ones, right? But when you actually look at how small some of these operators are, right? I can't probably see this one because my camera's in the way. But if I look at this one here, right? This operator is tiny. Like, realistically, you got a bottom bit, which is like, what do you call it? Like a bodysuit, which is like pulled down halfway. So it doesn't properly show off how small this operator actually is. But when you think about it, right, and this probably isn't the best example, but if you look at the body of that operator, split it down in the middle, and then you've got the left side, the right side, split it in half, you've got upper chest, you've got stomach. In some cases, if that connection is slightly behind, as opposed to hitting someone on the upper chest, you're going to end up getting a headshot. And that happens in every game, realistically, right? Like I said, that's an element in every game. But it's even more tough to pull off when you've got the element of ping, latency, but then you've also got the element of how small some of these operators are. Like, we all know, right? You choose a smaller operator, it will make a difference. It's not going to make that much of a difference. It's not something that's going to, if you choose a smaller operator, you're going to go into a match, you're not going to get a million kills. No one's going to touch you. It's not that deep, right? But it is something that does make a difference. Even if it's just that slightest difference, having a smaller hitbox on an operator can make a difference. But it's not a major difference. Like I said, you take someone who's trash, put them in the game with a small operator, and all of a sudden do really well. There's a lot of elements to it. But Having that in Black Ops 6 and having that split down even more so is the part for me where I'm thinking, hang on a minute, how are they going to pull this off? You know, that's the question for me. How are they going to pull this off? They will pull it off one way or another, but there's going to be a lot of uncertainty around it. And I think what the thing is as well, we've got. I don't. I can't fully remember whether they said. I think they did confirm that theatre mode is coming back. Now, I mean, in my opinion, right, theatre mode should be on every Call of Duty. That shouldn't even be something where it's like, oh yeah, we're bringing back theatre mode or we're putting theatre mode in. Like, theatre mode is something that should just be in any game. You want to see a replay of that match, you want to be able to get the different angles, you want to see what actually happened, then you should be able to do that, right? But having that returning, as well as enhancing that hit detection on the character, is where it's going to be like, oh, okay, did this person actually hit my head? Yeah, I was here, they shot me here, that actually hit me, or whatever it might be, right? So the return of theatre mode will essentially mean that people can look into that a lot more, and no doubt the community will drill it until it's at a better point. So it's good that they're giving us that exploration aspect of it, I think. Um, and having a theatre mode in general is something that, like I said, I think should be in every game. I mean, it's not something where I feel like it's anything bonus. I feel like it should just be there. It's what it is, right? Um, but what we're also getting, what that brings me on to as well, so we're not going to be getting final kill in Black Ops. We're going to be getting best play. Now, final kill has pretty much always been associated with Modern Warfare games. Um, Best play has always pretty much been Black Ops thing. So I'm glad this one is very much something where people are very mixed on it. For me personally, I do prefer best play. I know a lot of the community have said that best play isn't always the best because it doesn't always show the actual best play. Like, when you think about it, it's a best play. You expect to see someone popping off. You expect to see someone doing some crazy stuff. And a lot of the time, that isn't the case. Of course, it's not. They're never going to be able to get it. It's all about what that best play is based off. Now, whatever algorithm they use to detect that, it's going to be whatever it is, and that's not going to be something that's revealed to but they're not going to come out and say, oh yeah, this is what it's based off. They might give a hint. They might say, oh yeah, get like X amount of kills, whatever it is. But they're not going to give a complete detail away as to how it's picked up. I doubt, at least anyway. Because then that allows the community to properly look into that and say, hang on a minute, this is this. But for me, the reason I prefer best play over final kill is because final kill, we're not so much in the days anymore of trick shotting, right? Trick shotting was very much a thing that was around, probably 5+ years ago, I'd say. I'm not saying no one trick shots now. Of course, people still trick shot. It's a thing. People still do it. But the hype over it and the thing around it it's just not there as much as it used to be. And if you eliminate that aspect out of it, final kill isn't based on skill. Final kill isn't based on how good you are at the game. Final kill is a case of luck, right? If you get that last kill about last second, I mean, think about it, if it's domination, right? You can't necessarily time that perfectly. If you get the last kill, you get the last kill. But if it's like a TDM, that kind of thing, it's yeah, of course, it's a lot easier to get, but then you got to think, oh, is your teammate going to get it, whatever it might be. And because Final Kill doesn't demonstrate that you're necessarily like, it doesn't show like a really good clip, like I said, unless you bring in a trick shotting aspect to it. It's purely just based on who gets that last kill. Best play I prefer because if you've hit a really good clip in a game, then you've got that opportunity to be put at the end. 20-second, 25-second clip, whatever it might be, and people can see you popping off, right? Yeah, 100%. The best plays are not always right at all. I mean, if we look at the most recent Black Ops game, which is Black Ops Cold War, the best plays I've seen in there are horrendous sometimes. I'm telling you, right? I've seen some crazy stuff. I've seen some people get like 2 kills in a best play, or I've seen someone like throw a grenade, get a kill for like the best play, whatever it might be. But at the same time, that very much happens with final kill as well. The possible, the likelihood of getting a final kill with a grenade and also getting a grenade kill in the best play is very different because at the end of the day, with the best play, it's all based on typically it should be based on how many kills you're getting in a certain amount of time. And if you're getting those kills in that certain amount of time, then you're obviously likely going to get the best play. But yeah, best play does, if it's done right. I'll say that with a condition. If it's done correctly, then best play is what's going to demonstrate that that player is actually really good. Whereas final kill, unless you're trick shotting, it's more a case of just luck. Like, oh yeah, you got that last kill, great. But yeah, so I'm all for best play. More than anything, final kill is final kill. It is what it is. I've always been more into having the best play aspect though, and it definitely helps with clips montages a lot more as well. Because let's be honest, right? You're not going to clip every single final kill you get. I was like, oh, I got final kill, because as I said, we all know that final kill isn't based on, like, if you're a really good player, and you get final kill. You didn't get final kill because you're a good player. You likely got final kill because you just happened to get a kill at that particular time. And I think it's more different when you got like kill confirmed, domination, because you never know when it's going to end, right? So just looking at the votes, we got a couple of extra people who voted. We're now on a 57-43 split, which means if my maths is mathing correctly, we got 4 people voted for already pre-ordered. So that's great. Glad you guys pre-ordered. Good to know that the confidence is there. And then we got 3 people saying that the game looks average. I'll say again, guys, for people who weren't around 20 minutes ago or so, for you guys that are saying it looks average, I don't disagree with you. Like I said, as much as I am looking forward to the game, there's, we have to keep in mind that we've had a lot of false promises coming out of Call of Duty recently. And a lot of these could also be present in Black Ops 6. From what we've seen so far, it looks great. But like I said, because I think that confidence aspect has dropped so much with the things that we've been told we're going to get in some of these cards that we haven't got. Or what, things that we maybe have got but haven't been what they should be. We've worded it and presented it in a certain way, and the actual way that it came out wasn't what it should have been. Or what we wanted, should I say. So you guys are saying it looks average. It's not a wrong answer at all. Like I said, this is all opinion based, right? But it's not a wrong answer. It's just how you guys feel. And like I said, there's a part of me that, although I'm very excited for this game and there's features that I've heard of, but omnidirectional movement, classic prestige, all this other stuff, I am very much looking forward to, and it'll be good to see. This doesn't mean that the game is going to be great, right? A game being good is based on a lot of things, right? We're talking about a lot of things. We're talking about the mechanics. We're talking about the game modes. We're talking about the maps. We're talking about the variation of different things like zombies and all this. Like, you can make a list, an endless list of things that basically determine whether a game is going to be good in your opinion. Some people come on the game, they play like one game mode, they're happy with that, that's chill, it's all good. But a lot of people like to get into the different stuff. They want to play different game modes, different maps. And as I said, that's all down to people preference. People will have their different preferences and opinions on what they like, and obviously the weapons as well. Some people are snipers. Some people like to run around with the red guns. Some people are a bit of both. Some people run that hybrid. So yeah, there's going to be, at the end of the day, what we have to remember is it's impossible for them to make a one size fits all, right? And that might sound quite obvious, right? You can't make everyone happy. That's for saying as it goes. But what it's about doing is it's about making the majority of people happy, right? It's about doing something in a game where, although one thing might not make people happy, there's something else in the game that will make people happy. And that's just something, you can base that down on something as low as like a map, for example. This map I don't like, but this map I do like. And that's it. They create the balance by having those maps in there. You want to play this map, play this map. You want to play that map. And of course, they have these featured playlists where you've got like 24/7. So Black Ops Cold War, for example, Nuketown 24/7, and obviously other games as well. I'm not just saying Black Ops Cold War, but just because it's the most recent Black Ops game. You had these different game modes for featured playlists, and that was all. That all tend to be based on what they wanted to promote, I think, and also what people love. I mean, let's be honest, right? Everyone loves Nuketown. Come on, guys, we can't say no. I don't think there's many people that say they don't like Nuketown. Although we do have our Nuketown preferences, right? Come on, we all know which Nuketown's the best one. Come on, guys, we know what that is. We know what that is. But yeah, they're going to have these feature playlists and they're going to have these different things in to suit different people. But as I said, it's not a one size fits all. There's going to be things that we don't like. Some people don't like the idea of a movement. I've seen a lot of people in comment sections and stuff saying that they think the movement is a bad idea. The reason behind that is because people don't want the sweats and the like really serious pains to like proper take advantage of it. And as I said, I think realistically, there's a valid argument for every one of these points, right? There's a valid argument for having it in the game, and there's a valid argument for having it out the game. Because realistically, the argument for not having it in there could be if people didn't have a slow playing style in general, then we wouldn't need to have movement enhancements. People could just run around freely and do what they need to do. You haven't got to worry about coming around the corner and you got some guy just staring at you in the face, right? But yeah. There's a valid argument, I think, either way for pretty much all these features that they're putting in. But yeah, I've seen some people not too keen on the movement thing. But the good thing is, I think, and again, this is all about variation, is the movement option. They said that that's not going to be something that you have to do, right? If you don't want to be diving in every single direction, diving left, right, center, sprinting left, right, center, flying across the map like some freaking madman, right? You haven't got to be doing all that. You can turn the option right off and stick with the original movement, classic movement. There'll probably be different on the menu. There'll be different options with different names. You'll have like, I don't know, whatever they call different playing styles, aggressors or I don't know. I can't remember what they referred to as in the reveal. But that's the point, right? They've got all these different things. And people will have their own playing styles. And this is kind of how they defined it as well in the reveal, where they said, okay, we've got these three playing styles. I think one of them was basically the person who runs around, wants to get all the kills, wants to go crazy, right? They acknowledge that there's people like that in the game, and those are their sweats, right? They acknowledge that there's people that want to just throw themselves at objectives for the team. You're playing a bit of domination, play a bit of kill confirmed. I want to get those tags. I want to get those objective points. I want to be quick on that. So you've got people who play like that, and I think the other one, the other one I think was like people who are a bit more what's the word I'm looking for? Strategic. So they plan things out a lot more. They want to make sure that the team are always covered. Oh, look, there's a helicopter there. Let me take that out real quick. There's a UAV there. What's that doing? Get that gone. You know what I mean? So there's all that different people. We've just had someone else vote as well, who I think voted for. I think that was a Lux average vote. So we got. Oh no, it's not. Sorry, I tell a lie. I think that was a pre-ordered vote. So yeah, whoever just voted, I think you voted for pre-ordered. But I said my maths isn't mathing at the moment. But yeah, there's. It looks like there's 5 people. 5 people who voted for pre-ordered, and 3 people who have said that the game looks average. So yeah, I mean, pre-order is one thing. The Call of Duty veteran, hello, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day, and thank you for joining our discussion. So yeah, I think, like I said, and I'll say this again for anyone else who's just joining us, if you think the game's looking average at the moment, if it looks trash, you guys want to say it looks trash, no one's going to come at you for it. I mean, people in the community might, right? But this is an open discussion, right? I ain't going to bait you guys into saying, look, if you want to say the game's trash, you say the game's trash, right? We've all got our opinions. And like I said, I think they're all valid in one way or another. Because for me, before the reveal on Sunday, and I said this to a lot of people, I said, look, we've had a lot of false promises coming out of Call of Duty, right? They've said a lot of things. I said, look, we're going to have this, we're going to have that. Has it happened? No. Okay, so what makes it different with Black Ops 6, right? What makes it different with the stuff that they're saying to us? How do we know it's true? No one knows it's true. No one. How do we know this is all going to be in the game? No one knows that. Of course, no one knows it. It's one of those things, right? Call of Duty veteran, game is good. Omni movement as well. Yes, bro, 100%. I said this earlier. Omni movement is something that I'm looking forward to the most. That's one thing that yeah, I think will definitely set the tone of the game more than anything. As I said, it's an option that you can turn on and off. You don't have to have Omni movement on. But if you don't have it on, I almost think you'll be at quite a disadvantage. But that is all dependent on how the movement is in the game in general, right? because if a movement is very quick, it's not like clunky. You don't feel really heavy. You feel like you can move around, jump around quite a lot. Then the omni movement thing is a bonus, but it's not necessarily a requirement. If you want to dive to your right, if you want to dive to your left, you go ahead and do that, right? But if I'm sliding around on the place with that original movement anyway, I mean, it's pretty balanced. It's pretty balanced, and I almost think the Omni movement, as much as I'm looking forward to it, I don't think it's going to be something which is going to be like, oh yeah, like, we're going to get into it and it's going to be like this like really amazing thing that's going to completely change the way everything works. It will help with movement, of course it will. It give you that advantage if you've got that good movement. But I think over time, once you get used to it, it'll kind of just become one of those things. It's like, oh yeah, this is what it is, right? Um, but it will definitely set the tone of the game. It will set the tone of different matches that you play. You're going to have people diving left, right, and center, flying around the map, like some crazy people. And I mean, we get that already, right? On some Call of Duties, we get that where the movement's actually quite good. People are just flying around the place. You can't even turn around and someone's there. So yeah, it's one of those things. It's one of those things. Uh, Call of Duty Veteran, you loved how the diving backwards looks and the diving left, right, and shoot. Yeah, bro, that's what I'm saying, right? That's what I'm saying. I wish I could throw like videos and stuff up for you guys on the stream, but unfortunately I can't. But yeah, you guys have obviously seen it, right? So yeah, the way that was presented, in a very cinematic experience, I'll add in the in the reveal, it looked really good. It looked really good. And it definitely looks like something that I'm going to take advantage of. Like, I'm going to turn that option on. I'm going to be straight into that shit. Like, I want to be diving left, right, and center. Um, but yeah, bro, 100%, 100%. We're looking forward to that. And like I said, for me, that's one of the key things. Classic prestige, round-based zombies, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, and there's going to be other things as well, right? They told us we got to remember, we are still, how many months are we away from reveal? We're 5 months away from, not reveal, sorry, release. We're 5 months away from release. We haven't seen the multiplayer release yet because that will be in August, if memory serves well. That will be in August. So we've got that. And then there'll be the open beta, presumably in September, because the game is releasing in October. 25th of October, the game releases. So presumably we'll see an open beta September time, late September, start of October. And then we've obviously, as I said, we've got the multiplayer reveal in August. So once August hits, things will be quite active, right? I think for the next kind of, for the rest of June, for July, we're kind of going to be sat here just speculating a lot, and probably people are going to be looking out for leaks and stuff like that. But I think until August hits, when we get that multiplayer reveal and then we have the open beta following, it's going to remain a bit more quiet. Like I said, we'll see a lot more leaks, we'll see a lot more discussions, that kind of thing. But until August hits and we have that multiplayer reveal where we can start talking about it and reviewing it a lot more, it's going to be quite silent up until that point. But as I said, by no means, that's not me saying, oh yeah, nothing's going to come out of it. Of course it will, 100%. So, yeah, August multiplayer reveal, where we'll see a bunch of very common streamers, very common, that's the wrong word, very well-known streamers, that's what I was supposed to say, playing the new Call of Duty Black Ops in multiplayer. I mean, that's got to be an experience, right? To go there, go to the HQ, wherever it is, and play some of the game as early as August. But of course, as we said, what we see in that multiplayer reveal isn't necessarily going to be what we see in the game. Of course, at base level, it will be. It'll feel very similar. But they're gonna make slight tweaks up until the release. Hence why there's an open beta, so that they can address any bugs, any issues, anything common they need to look at before the official release on October 25th. So yeah, but regardless, it'll be good to see. It'll be very good to see what it's like, how it plays, and like I said, for me, they're going in that sort of direction of Modern Warfare, but it's not exact. They've adapted things from either side, Modern Warfare, Black Ops, but I feel like the shooting would be somewhere in between the Modern Warfare mechanics and the Black Ops Cold War mechanics, which I think is good. I mean, that sounds good. There's good parts to either side. Not one is better than the other. I mean, one is better than the other in certain ways, but like as an overall, when you look at it, it's better in some ways than others for Modern Warfare and vice versa Cold War. So yeah, hopefully we see a balance between the two. The menu is just going to look like the Modern Warfare menu that you guys are seeing here. I don't think that's going to be any different, apart from like the color changes. It'd be the classic black and orange and black even. Sounds a lot better to say it like that. Orange and black theme we'll see, whereas Modern Warfare is typically the blue that we've got on screen at the moment. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it, really. That's all I've got for you guys. I think we pretty much covered everything that Ray talks about in the reveal, plus a little bit more. So yeah, if anyone is still watching at the moment, please drop a vote on the poll before you go. It'd be good to see you guys' thoughts. I'm glad to see people have pre-ordered it already. To be fair, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I didn't realize that they were going to be doing pre-orders after the reveal on Sunday, because as I said, we're still a good 5 months away from release, right? We're talking like half a year. And for some reason, I didn't think they'd be doing pre-orders already. But they are, and a lot of people have pre-ordered already. Obviously, people on Xbox, if you've got that Game Pass, then you're going to be able to play the game for the very small price that you pay for your Game Pass. So I'm sure you guys are loving that. You Microsoft people over there with your Xboxes, you're loving that card's going to be on the Game Pass. No, I'm quite jealous of that, to be fair, because having all the Call of Duties on the Game Pass, playing all the previous ones, that does sound pretty good. That sounds pretty good. You're gonna make me get an Xbox, right? I'm gonna sell this PlayStation, get myself an Xbox for the Game Pass. But yeah, so yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching. As I said, please remember to drop a vote on the poll before you go, so I can get your guys' thoughts towards what you're thinking. We'll see the multiplayer reveal in August, and as I said, we'll no doubt see a lot more content come out of the leaks and the suspicions, the speculations before then, or in between now and then, should I say. So yeah, multiplayer reveal in August, slightly of an open beta in September, and then release on October the 25th. You best believe that I shall be making myself completely vacant for that week, in terms of my commitments, and my commitments will be solely focused on playing this new card, because if it is as good as they're saying it's going to be, and we get all this that they're promising, then honestly, guys, I think this is going to be something that really redeems Call of Duty as a franchise. Which is what we need. We need some redemption. Just had one more vote on the poll. Whoever just voted, I think you voted for Lux Average. Again, I'll step back just before we wrap up the stream. I'll step back to what I said earlier. If you guys are saying this game looks average, I'm not inclined to disagree, right? As much as I've said I'm looking forward to the game, it's looking really good. They've made some good announcements on things that are coming, new things, returns. That doesn't in any way, shape, or form guarantee that this game is going to be really good. Like I said, we've had a lot of false promises. There's a lot of people that are a bit feeling quite conscious and uncertain on what Call of Duty can actually release. But like I said, guys, to try and help you, try and reassure you a little bit. Like I said, this is a 4-year development. Again, this isn't me trying to flip the table, but it's a 4-year development. They've spent a lot of time on things. I think they've worked quite hard to make this the game that does redeem Call of Duty as a franchise. Hopefully that's the case. Not saying it will be. We've had a lot of these promises, so we have to just take everything with a pinch of salt. We have to really think to ourselves, are we actually going to get this, or are we going to get something completely different? But hopefully at a base level, the game will be good. 16 maps on launch, 2 round-based zombies, classic prestige, omnidirectional movement, 2v2 maps, all that good stuff. So if you've got a duo that you always play with, then this game will be for you. If you've always wanted a 2v2 game mode to be playing on. So yeah, that's that really, guys. That's that. No judgment over here at all. You guys think the game looks trash. Honestly, I can't say that I blame you, right? I've got my own feelings towards the game, but if you guys think it looks trash, then I'm not gonna say, look, you shouldn't think like that. I'd express the fact that we're looking at a 4-year development. They've worked quite hard in this game, but again, that doesn't guarantee anything, right? We all know that. We're still 5 months from release. A lot can change in 5 months, and a lot can change between the open beta and release as well. Even a month, they can do a lot of stuff in between that time. So yeah, we'll get what we get, but hopefully it's going to be positive. Hopefully we get something good, something playable, something that's actually resurrecting the Call of Duty franchise. I think that's what we need. We need some resurrection. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching and joining. To everyone who did, thank you very much for voting on the poll. We're going to wrap the stream up there. If you want to share any more thoughts, if you want to have a bit more of a discussion about this, feel free to reach out to us. We've got a Discord server where we can have a chat about any other features that they discuss or any leaks that might come out of the game. So the Discord will be in our description and in the YouTube bio. That's what it's called. Bio? That didn't sound right to say. But yeah, feel free to join the Discord, guys, if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here. We'll be doing some more streams similar to this, hopefully, once we get more news. We'll be just discussing the various different features of Black Ops 6 and what we're going to see. Thank you guys for coming to watch and discuss. And yeah, drop a like before you go, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.